This morning we're going to Chitwan, the first national park established in Nepal in 1973. We're flying Buddha Air to Bharatpur. Out the window we see the Himalayas. That's Langtung Lirung at 23,710 feet. We land at Bharatpur and meet our naturalist, Mohan. We go the rest of the way by road. Bharatpur is a bustling city of over 200,000. The landscape soon changes to rice paddies in the valleys and forests on the hills. We pass through a few small towns and see more than a few of these brightly painted trucks. We must be getting close. That's our lodge. And here's Chitwan National Park. But Mohan says we're not quite there yet. We have to cross the river in these boats. Captain Mike instructs us on the proper use of personal flotation devices. We load up with our luggage, and the boatman pulls us across. Kids are curious about their strange visitors. Mohan, like any good naturalist, is on the lookout for anything interesting. But all we see are some ducks. We make it across safely. We're greeted with cool drinks and wet towels. Sherry assures Noor that everything is just fine. We arrive in time for a late lunch at the lodge. Then it's time to meet our elephants. We're off on our first game drive, if that's the right term. In the lake next to the lodge, we see our first one-horned rhino. These formidable creatures weigh in at 2 to 3 tons and stand 6 feet tall. They were almost hunted to extinction, but they're making a comeback in Chitwan and other protected areas. Elephants are the best way to navigate the aptly named elephant grass, where we find more rhino. 543 species of birds are found in Chitwan. Seventy 70% of Chitwan is subtropical deciduous forest, which is just fine for rhinos. We catch a glimpse of the shy montjack, or barking deer. We find more birds in the trees. We head back to the lodge through the grassland. Many small birds live in the grasses. We're almost back to the lodge as the sun slips behind the trees. We wake to a misty morning. After a hearty breakfast, we're headed down to the Rapti River for a boat ride. A group of chital, or spotted deer, watch us go by. It's even foggier on the river. We load up and off we go. Sherry's not too sure about this boat, and it's Noor's turn to reassure her. Then Mohan tells her, we're looking for crocodiles. Then we find them, Gharials, the most critically endangered species we're probably going to encounter on this trip. In 2006, there were less than 235 individuals. Efforts are being made to protect the wild populations and restock from captive born, but so far the loss of habitat has continued and the populations have not stabilized. The average adult Gharial is 12 to 15 feet long and weighs 1,500 pounds. The name comes from the Nepali word for pot or pitcher, which describes the bulbous growth on the male's snout. As the fog lifts, we're able to see more water birds. We also see some people living on the river. Their gill nets are a major problem for the Gharial. We've arrived at our destination. Our elephants are waiting to take us back to the lodge. They seem happy to see us. We load up and head back to the lodge. The red jungle fowl is the ancestor of the domestic chicken. The spiderweb still has some morning dew on it. Then we see them, a mother and a not-so-small baby rhino. A baby rhino will stay with its mother up to 4 years. On an elephant, you can get up close and personal with these rhinos. In no time, we're back to the lodge for lunch. After lunch, we went to school on elephants with Durgat Kali and her mahout, Tuknayan. All the elephants here at the lodge are female and named after goddesses, and Kali likes to dance. Ever wonder how the mahout gets on his elephant? Tuknayan demonstrates. We each take our turn giving Kali a treat.
Okay, give it. Yeah. Give it.
We can wash. Okay, I'm ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Kelly says thanks for the goodies. For the rest of the afternoon, we do a little bird watching around the lodge. Then we notice a mugger crocodile on the lakeshore. Mugger comes from the Urdu word meaning water monster. We're up early and out into the mist. We can barely see the other elephant. We almost missed this jackal in the mist. So we dismount and Mohan takes us on a nature walk. Mohan gives us careful instructions on what to do if we encounter a tiger or a rhino. Climb a tree. But how to do that with no branches? He's really knowledgeable about Chitwan and identifies many plants and finds some birds for us. Then it's back to the river. We're going to have a picnic on the river. More people living on the river. Mohan says refugees from Bangladesh. We see a few more ducks. We have arrived. Mohan points out fresh rhino tracks and fresh leopard tracks, but week-old tiger tracks. Our picnic is waiting for us. We clean our plates. Our elephants are here to take us back to the lodge. One brief stop to take on water. We load up, and we're headed back to the forest. The forest edge along the river is full of birds and monkeys. Nor says, this is where I saw 2 tigers last summer. But we just see more rhino. Here's how we get off an elephant. We spend the rest of the afternoon watching the activity around the lake. The smell of dinner cooking is making us very hungry. It's a whole roast pig. We take a short elephant ride in the misty morning. We say goodbye to the one-horned rhinos. We take one last look at our cabin in the morning mist. We say goodbye to the lodge staff. They've been great to us. It's back to the river. On the way across, we pass inbound travelers and wish them at least as good a time as we had. Then it's back on the road to Bharatpur, enjoying all the unusual sights along the way. And bon voyage at Bharatpur Airport. We're headed back to Kathmandu.